Hey guys, Dustin here. Welcome to another episode of Horroritis, and today we have yet another indie review. Today we're having a look at the movie Agramon's Gate, which was written and directed by Harley Wallen, who you might remember also wrote and directed Eternal Code. While Eternal Code was an action movie, Agramon's Gate is a horror movie and is a bit more relevant to my interests. This movie has a good story with a tried and true premise where a psychic shows up to a party to read fortunes and whatnot, which turns into a seance, which allows something unexpected to cross over. Like I said, the concept isn't exactly original, but it's far from overdone, and the story has enough original concepts to keep it from feeling like a cookie-cutter demon possession movie. The issue, and really the only issue with this movie, is the pacing. So let's go ahead and get that out of the way right now. I feel like most of the pacing issues with this movie are actually editing issues. A few scenes could have been tightened up, and some scenes could have been cut altogether without really affecting the movie at all. As it stands, we get a decent introduction to the characters and the story, but after the seance, it takes a bit too long to get to the actual meat of the movie. When the movie starts, we're introduced to a bunch of partygoers who should be cannon fodder for our evil entity. The problem there is that the demon doesn't start gutting people until far into the movie. Of course, important things are happening up until that point, but if one or two of the kills were moved a bit earlier up into the movie, it would up the suspense while evening out the parts with less action and making the movie feel more balanced. Again, I feel like that's just an editing issue. The characters all seem pretty well balanced and fleshed out and developed. I also like seeing characters or actors from previous movies show up in later movies. In this case, we had some people show up that were also in Eternal Code. Harley Wallen himself doesn't disappoint in front of the camera. In fact, the pairing of Vesna and Zeb is actually pretty great. At one point, they show up looking like Eastern Europe's hottest industrial synth band, who are so underground, they only play abandoned car parks in former Soviet countries, and their albums are only released on wax cylinder. We also see Lauren Landon from Maniac Cop. I mean, she's done other stuff too, but let's face it, I only care about Maniac Cop. Jan Birch from People Under the Stairs fame returns as one of the faces of the evil entity, or is he? We also see Katie Wallen return for this movie, and she appears to be more comfortable in this role than her role in Eternal Code, because she turns in a much stronger performance in this one opposite Chris Riley. Despite the pacing issues, I enjoyed this movie, and I can say that I'm legitimately becoming a fan of Harley Wallen's work. Now, of course, that doesn't impact the honesty of my reviews. I have integrity. But what it does mean is that I am far less likely to actually turn down one of his movies for review. So that's my review for Agramon's Gate. You can find this movie in places like Amazon Prime. I'll have links below in the description. If you like this video, give me that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button, blah, 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 blah. If you have a review you'd like me to do, or you've made a movie, or you know somebody who's made a movie, and you'd like me to review it, you can drop me a line at thehorroritis@gmail.com or on Facebook. Link will be below for that. We are available on Facebook, YouTube, BitChute, so hit up any of those sites, whichever one you like the best. And that's it, I guess. So, as always, I'm Dustin. This was Horroritis, and until next time, keep it creepy. Doesn't impact the honesty of my reviews. I mean, I have integrity.